Don't panic. Don't get excited. Don't move. Don't look over there. Look straight ahead and listen very carefully to what I'm about to tell you. Everything you were taught in school is a lie. Everything they told you about succeeding at work, making lots of money, getting a nice house in the suburbs, it's all been a lie. The president, you never voted for president ever. Prime ministers, popes, priests, rabbis, imams, they're all in on it. Don't you listen to them when they tell you this or that is the enemy. The only enemy are the men upstairs. Shh. I told you about the problem. Now let me sell you the solution. What do you think? What do you think? So I'm trying to do something new with my hair. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I might be entering that crazy, uncomfortable stage with the hair. You know what I mean? That, what do we call that? The middle phase. No, there's a word. Like, there's an expression. The in between phase, right? Where I might go long again. You know, and I saw some old videos of me with the longer hair, and we might be going back there. Chanter, CW Chanter School for SSP Whistleblowers Part 3. Part 3. Part 3. So we've had our introductory class, okay? And we started our journey. Along the road, we're already thinking about our character. We're already thinking about who we could be. But like I said, and like I remember, there are plenty of opportunities, and there's going to be plenty of opportunities to change things up. Thanks to the miracle technology of 20 and back, as well as screen memories. Burn that, ironically, burn that memory into your memory banks for hard storage. Screen memories. When in doubt, when caught out, when a contradiction is unearthed, screen memories. So we're doing our basics. We're getting our basic work together. We're starting to do our research. We're putting together our ideas about who it could be. And in part 2, we discussed the most important thing you're going to be doing on your first step on your journey to success. There you go. People are paying attention. First step on our journey to success is choosing and making first contact with our handler. Okay. So having done that, having laid the seeds of interest in the handler's mind, remember, we don't want to be too enthusiastic. We don't want to be too pushy. We got to play this easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? To quote Damone from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, we don't care if they come, stay, lay, or pray. We got an agenda, and if it doesn't work with person number 1, we're just going to go with one of our alternates, okay? And this is a helpful tip I'll introduce right here, is that in this contentious scene of secret space program whistleblowers, alien contactees, experiencers, spirit guides, channeled messengers, etc., 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 at the various conferences dotting the good old USA and beyond, it's a highly contentious and competitive field. Get to know the players, get to know their likes and dislikes, but especially get to know who doesn't like whom. It can be an invaluable tool to have in your back pocket if you need to jump ship, as it were, from one handler to the next. Whether it's following my patented lily pad method of going from bigger to bigger handler, or whether it's just, sticking the guy that screwed you on that Holiday Inn bill with a sick burn notice, you know what I mean? You're going to want to know where to go to get people really upset, right? You just broke up with your boyfriend. You're going to go out in the town and teach him a lesson. You could pick up a random stranger, right? You could. Or you could sleep with his brother or best friend. That'll teach him. That'll teach them. Okay. So, and yeah, and if you notice a kind of a lower vibration to those sort of impulses and things that I've been talking about so far, get used to it. Okay. If you want to be a secret space program whistleblower, even if you want to go down the old hopium trail, okay, you're going to need to know that this is a down and dirty business. And you either get tough, right? Or you get eaten. You're either prey or predator out here. So we got to keep our toes tapping. We got to stay alert. We got to keep our eye on the exit door for a quick getaway. And we got to know and be prepared. If you want to make it, you got to learn that somebody else is going to have to take it. It's just the way that it goes, baby. Make peace with that as soon as you can, and you'll be in better stead. Watch out for morals and ethics. Watch out for morals and ethics. They'll catch you up. That'll find you upstage at the Holiday Inn and, Bethesda, Maryland. Just kind of looking out at that audience, and you'll mention something in your rehearsed lines. Then you'll see someone in the front row, kind of looks like dad. And then you're lost and you're out there. And if you haven't killed the monster of morals and ethics in you by now, if you're not totally dead inside when it comes to actual moral and ethical evaluations of situations, you might find yourself doing something crazy, like throwing it all away by saying something like, I I I, I can't do this anymore. I owe you all an apology. It's Fenton. Thank you for booking me. I owe you an apology. I'm so sorry that I'm doing this. I hope I'm doing the right thing. I made it all up. I I'm sorry. No, ooh, yikes. Screen memories will cover up a lot of things. Screen memories can be used to save a lot of situations. There's some situations you ain't coming back from in the Secret Space Program game. And telling the truth is definitely one of them. You got to be prepared to throw anyone under the bus. Your mom walks in the door and says, "You're making it up." Accuse her of being an agent. Easy. It's going to hurt at first. Just make it up to her later. Come by and visit her after hours and try and explain to her what's going on and what's happening. But you got to keep your toes tapping. You got to keep the game going. You got to keep the game alive. Or, like a shark who stops swimming, you're going to sink to the bottom and cease to survive. Okay? Only the strong make it in this game. Okay? If you got weakness, if you don't think you got what it takes to lie, 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 and lie some more, you get out of the game right now. No one's going to call you weak to your face because you're already going to be out the door. But yeah, but honestly, don't do this to yourself. You know what I mean? You got to be in this for the long haul. Remember, right? Just like porno, once you get up there on the internet, on the videotape, doing the secret space program shuffle, there ain't no coming back. There ain't no coming back. There's a few of your friends and family that you're going to be able to tell, oh, you were just playing an act, you were LARPing. Well, we'll get that. We'll get there. We'll get there. There's going to be a special lesson on covering your tracks and preserving moral and ethical outs. To explain to your wife who you didn't tell what you were up to on the internet, or explaining to your mom and dad when they come to the uncomfortable discovery, probably because you've been doxxed by one of your secret space program outsider brothers or sisters, why you've been going around telling people that you're not Joe Blow from Cincinnati, Ohio, leaf blower, but you're actually Private First Class Damien St. Nichols, whistleblower, right? It's going to be hard to explain, especially if you got any vets in your family or anyone who's been actually in the service. Ooh, and if you've got living parents, yikes. And if you've got kids, dangerous game to play, but I can make all the warnings in the world that I want to. You didn't make it this far because you didn't, want to be a secret space program whistleblower. So without further ado, We'll do a brief little recap. We're going to get the recaps down really, really tight. I just don't want anyone to wander in for the first time and be totally lost. Secret space program whistleblowers. So you've seen them on the internet, you've seen them on YouTube, you've seen them on Project Camelot, you see all the likes that they get on Facebook, you see them at the Project Avalon Forum conventions, you see them on Miles Johnson's Basis Project, you see them here, you see them there, you seemingly see them everywhere. But how do you get started as a secret space program whistleblower? How do you get yourself a piece of that teeny little fame pie called being a secret space program whistleblower? That is what the CW Chanter School for Secret Space Program Whistleblowers is all about. And that's why you've come here. You're going to learn all the basics, from how to get the basics of your storyline together, to picking and choosing a handler, to making that critical choice between whether or not you're going to go down the old hopium trail. Everything's going to be all right, folks. It's all white light and ascension at the end. Everything resolves to source, or the dangerous path of Fear Porn Alley. Ooh, it's dark in Fear Porn Alley. There's all sorts of reptilians. They want to fuck your eyeball. What are you going to do? You're going to keep it going. You're going to keep it going, and you're going to keep doing the shuffly do. Looking forward into the future, we're going to be talking about what is we talking about today? Suggested reading list and initial prep, right? I think that's what we're talking about today. What is it? What's my title? Yeah. Suggested reading list. This is part 3, suggested reading list and prep. I'll be completely honest with you folks. So basically the point about this now is this. So you've made your initial contact with the handler, but you do not want to blow it by being too enthusiastic too quickly. You're going to want to bide your time and take your time. Do it out slowly, right? You got to reel them in slowly. You got to keep your options open. When it comes to making contact with your initial handler, it does make sense. You're going to get a lot of emails that just go unreturned. It's going to happen. It happens to the best of us. Don't worry about it. Don't panic. Okay? That's why you're going to want to, at first, have a pool of maybe 3 or 4 potentials that you're going to, make your initial contact with, start talking to, get a couple of irons in the fire. That's good for a couple of reasons. Number one, you don't know who's going to actually bite the bait, as it were. And beyond that, nothing motivates a handler to jump on board and be the first person to interview you if they think that if they don't be the first one that interviews you, you're going to end up talking to Stuart Swerdlow. Who's that? Who? And yeah, he visited my table. Yeah, that's the guy I've been talking about. That's the guy I told you about. He was at the last one. Might be the real deal. Might be the real deal. Where is he? No. I thought he went to the bathroom. Who's he talking to? Linda Moulton Howe? Bitch. Right? Gotta be careful. You gotta be careful out here. You know what I mean? Someone could snatch. Hey, that's my pie. Right? Someone could snatch your pie right out from underneath you. So you're gonna want to make sure to have enough tools to create a little sense of jealousy. Maybe light a little fire under the tuchus of one of your suggested handlers to get them chomping at the bit. But here's a little thing I call a twofer. What you're going to do is you're going to do some critical research work, but I place it here. One might say to me, hey, CW, why don't we why didn't we start talking about the initial prep and syllabus and reading list before we talked about meeting the handler? It seems like if this was an actual school with an actual thought out program, you would have logically put the initial reading list and prep kind of at the front end. It also kind of seems like you're jumping around a bit, like you're improvising and making all this stuff up off the top of your head. And I just want to say, I can understand why it seems that way. I really can. But I've learned some things about basic human programming and information absorption technology during my time in the secret space program. So, though it might seem like this is all great, one big great improvisatory act, and I'm making it up as I go along. There is a method to the madness. We are going somewhere with this. And oh yeah, I'm still getting updates. And if I ever seem confused, you have to bear in mind, and if my handler was here today, he would tell you that I've been under a lot of stress. Uh, the process of going to these various radio interviews and internet shows has been a bit stressful. People are mean to me on Facebook and the internet. You should see my Twitter comment timeline. They keep on saying things like Randy Kramer's more believable, and I think this guy just ripped off Billy Meyer. Those words hurt. Those words hurt. Michael Horn has been giving me a hard time. That sucks. Okay. And people keep on asking me rude and tough questions. Hello, Walter Bosley channel. How you doing? I gotta get back to you. I know you sent me. I gotta get back to you. I gotta get back to you. Good to see you here. You will offset the energy of Cliff High, who today has accused me of being all in jest. I'm assuming. Bear with me as I stall for time. Thank you. Ah, according to Cliff High, cryptocurrency maven and possible Illuminati insider, throwing it out there, throwing it out there, figured it out. Chanter must have been either a forger or a debunker of religious artifacts in a previous life. May have been connected to the whole pious forgeries that are used to fill the holes and prop up the delusionary narrative presented in the Bible. First of all, if you're a Bible believing person, I just want to tell you his name. He's on Twitter. It's at Cliff, CLIF_high. So if you are washed by the blood of the Lamb, maybe you've been hyped up on all the damage that QAnon has taken. Let me suggest that you retweet at Cliff High, who basically is just called the Bible lie. How's that for white balance? So anyway, and there you go. I also there's a lesson here. Either a forger or debunker of religious artifacts in the past life. You see what he did there? He covered his bases. I could be from column A or from column B. Remember, that's always a good policy. When in doubt, cover your bases, right? Think about things. Everything is a promotional, what do they call that there? PR there, the public relations. You know what I mean? You're sorry and you understand that the audience is upset by this glaring omission. That seems like an indication that you've been lying to them the whole time. So you hear them, you hear their needs, but also, like I said, it's been under a lot of stress. Okay. And then also there was the, what do they call that? Oh, the trauma based mind control that does not make for a stable person. Okay. So if I seem contradictory, or rude or aloof, or you caught me with your girlfriend out by the outhouses at Contact in the Desert, I just want to say that I'm programmed. I was programmed to do this. Okay, it wasn't even in my nature. It took me out of bed at 7. You know what I mean? There I was. And then there I went with a guy I called Mr. Blue, who would speak to me, but without moving his mouth. And then I saw your girlfriend, and she spoke to me while moving her mouth. Anywho, back to the thing. So they come up and you say traumatic brain mind control. There you go, and screen memories, and trust the plan. Trust the plan. You know. Oh, and here's another little game. It's a good thing you asked me that question. Okay, because did anyone ever tell you that you might have been in a secret space program? Let me work with you. Let me be your handler, baby. Okay, so here we go to the subject at hand. We still have a subject at hand. Oh, also, I was planning to go no later than 7 o'clock because at 7 o'clock, Joe from the Carolinas, to the best of my knowledge and understanding, we'll be doing a live stream with a guest talking about Dolce and most likely debunking Dolce. And so, as a person from the Secret Space Program Whistleblower School, I just want to let you know that no matter what they do, and no matter how truthful the evidence that they produce, that Dolce was not true, that didn't happen, well, guess what? None of it matters. Here's the little thing that I've told you a lot of things that might make you scared. You're going to get tough questions at the audience. People will be coming at you and all this stuff. Just bear in mind, you're going to be throwing your life away. You're going to be lying to people. Your mom and dad won't like you anymore. How you doing? Hey, the activist that lives with Reamsey with the official flag of the Chanter School for Secret Space Program Whistleblowers. Go big octopus. There you go. Some good news. Some good news. The audience is on your side fundamentally. Okay, they're there because they want to believe. They're there because they want to believe. They want it to be true. They're on your side. Okay, all you got to do is get from point A to point B. All you got to do is get the little miniature golf ball to the hole, his home. It's where you want him to be. It's where he wants to be. All you got to do is get him there. Okay. You didn't get a hole in one? Couple of tough questions. Got you sweating. Got you going to your little bag of tricks a little too often. Traumatic brain injury, traumatic mind control, screen memories. I'm still learning about things. Some of the stuff. Well, some of the stuff is lifted because it's all the same story because it's really true. The contradictions. Are you a CIA plant? You've gone big. You know what I mean? You might be up there sweating. Don't worry. Don't worry. And just remember that even if a person jumps up from the front row and shows you a photo of you at 12 years old when you were supposed to be battling Martian men on the moon, eating a hot dog, ooh, that's not a good look, right? On the 4th of July, right? With a iron-on t-shirt that your mom made you that says, I'm number one, and number is misspelled, okay? Not a good look. There with your bowl haircut and your socks pulled all the way up, still you're going to be able to walk away from that. Still you'll be able to walk away from that. Why? The gods of Photoshop take away, but the gods of Photoshop give back. Deny, deny, deny. Someone says that Dolce isn't real. That's okay. They were a CIA shill. Okay, remember that word. CIA shill. You're going to want to familiar yourself with all of the letter agencies, the alphabet soup agencies, as we call them. And you're also going to want to pick up some of that terminology. Like, don't just call them the CIA and the NSA. Call them one of those alphabet soup organizations. But you'll pick that up over time as you do your research. As we move on to lesson number 3, suggested reading list. And prep. And as I was saying before, you say to me, CW Chanter, why didn't we do the prep, the initial reading and the prep list before we met our initial handler? That would make sense. And I say to you, shut up, okay? I already explained that. And then number 2 for an explanation, whatchamacallit? The reason that we put it here is not by accident. We put it at step 3 because it's actually the smartest thing. It's actually really smart and genius because as I was saying, whatchamacallit, you're gonna not want you're gonna want to resist and fight that initial impulse to blow and be calling your handler all the time, giving him the him or she huge DMs. Oh, and another thing, nothing is worse. Nothing will blow the potential handler relationship like sending them a huge DM and then 3 seconds later, even after they haven't responded to the first DM, okay, hit him with another, oh, and another thing, and then give him another block of text, okay? That's going to make you look sad and desperate. It's just like dating. Folks, it's just like dating. You might be saying to me, CW, if I was any good at dating, I wouldn't be here trying to do the secret space program whistleblower thing. And I'd say it's another bite at the apple, but it's like the kiddie pool. I'm telling you, buddy, gal, follow my advice. We're going to get you. We're going to get you to where you need to be. We're going to get you there. And it's little life hacks and tips like the following that's going to get you there. Doing the initial prep work now, after you've made initial contact with your handler, will give you something to do. Okay? Will give you something to do, so there'll be a natural barrier to. Oh, my apologies. That was my handler. There you go. Boom. Ah, so by doing an initial, by having our heavy reading list uh, come in at this part of the game after we made initial contact with our first couple of potential handlers, will give us something to do so we don't blow the deal by being too rushing things. Number one, so this is a suggested reading list. We're going to give suggested reading possibilities for both the Hopium Trail as well as the old deep, dark, dank fear porn alley. And we'll see what's going on. Again, oh, quick also tip: fear porn alley. You might want to pick yourself up a pair of sunglasses from the Roger Stone collection. You know what I mean? It's everywhere you want to be, except prison. There you go. Roger Stone. There you go. So we're going to be talking about when we're doing this, we're going to be talking about suggested background reading. You're going to want to be thoroughly familiar with some background information on the scene. You're going to want to know what you're talking about. Look, here's the deal. Here's the deal. If you just want to keep your game on YouTube, you can come out here wheeling and dealing like a king troll, like Alien Contact A, or a super bizarre rando super freak like Donald Marshall, and just pick this, that, the other thing out of a hat, and just spin it all together, make it up, and then get out there. And you're going to find some followers. You're going to find some people that are going to follow you because they think that you're. It's just so crazy. Could it be true? You're gonna get people who think and know that you're a troll, but are into your LARP anyway, and you're gonna get some random people who are gonna actually fall for your ridiculous stuff. But that's amateur hour, okay? That's amateur hour. If you came here to yuck it up on YouTube, you came to the wrong place. Okay? I'm serious as cancer when I tell you rhythm is a dancer. And if you want to dance your way, dance your way onto that big stage, the conference circuit, a memoir, book deal, Ancient Aliens, basic TV, basic cable, Netflix documentary, you're going to want to heed my advice. Okay? Caution is the watchword, and prep is going to get you where you need to go. Now, I will be completely forthright and honest with you. Okay? If only to show off how smart I am. I was going to make this what? No, it's not bibliography. What do they call it there? The syllabus. I was going to create the syllabus prior to recording today, but I didn't get to it. Okay, so we're going to do it all in real time. Now, here was the thing that happened to me. This was the biggest problem. It was a numerical suggestions or numerical implications, numerological implications. Originally, I thought to myself, okay, so you'll come up with 5 books for Deep Dark Fear Porn Alley. You'll come up with 5 books for the Hopium Trail, and you'll make people read those 5 books for their chosen avenue, and then they'll just choose one from the other list. And then I was like, ooh, that's 6 books. I'm like, ooh, 6. People are not gonna like that number, right? But then I couldn't figure. Then I was gonna be like, oh, you got to read all 5 books and 2 from the other list. And I was like 7. I'm like, that's pretty good. But I was like, no one's gonna read 7 books. This is not happening. So we're gonna do 5 books, and you're gonna read 3 from your list and 1 from the other. So that's 4. That's a nice number. I like that number. Okay, so we need 5 books for fear porn, and we're gonna need 4 books, 5 books for the Hopium Trail. No problem. Excuse me while I make my chart. This is going to be in no particular order. And remember, you're going to read any 3. If you want to cover your bases, you're good. If you want to cover your bases, you read all 10 books. But if you're just going to cover, just do what you got to do to get out there and get started, you're going to read any 3, and then you're going to read whatchamacallit, 1 from the other list. That's 4 there. Oh no, 5 is a good number though. Ah, you're going to read any 3 of the initial 5 books that I list for each category. You're going to read 1 from the other category, right? And then you're going to read what you call it there. Well, 1 specialized book for your concentration. Your concentration. All right. Thank you, Brad Gray. Hey, CW. Can an Aussie enroll in secret space program? Yes, Brad. Absolutely, they can. And in fact, it would be better because you know what I mean? Everyone's going to NASA. Everyone's going to secret space program in America. Absolutely. The Australian secret space program, it's so secret, we didn't even know you had an initial space program. That's how secret it is. Brilliant. And no one's, there's not a huge population of these debunkers crawling around the streets of Australia. So you can put an underground base wherever you want to. Adelaide, Sydney, Melbourne. You know what I mean? I got or the oh, check this out. And then you can work specialized angles of a secret space program because you made a donation. I'll give you a special hint. The Aboriginal people get into their wisdom teachings and trying to incorporate that, pick up the didgeridoo, you know what I mean? And you'll be off to the proverbial races. So absolutely. The answer to your question is especially if you give me money. Can an Aussie enroll in the secret space program? Well, if they couldn't before, you lay down $10 Australian. I guess that's what that A means. Baby, you are in. You're in. That's not a knife? No. but the one in your pocket is because you're just happy to see me? Okay. Whew, this is going to be tough. Oh, but this is going to be easy. There's an obscure book by an author named Jim Keith. Okay, and it's called Alternative 4. I think it's called Alternative 4. If it's not called Alternative 4, it's called Alternative 3. I think it's called Alternative 4. They made a BBC pseudo documentary. This goes back to the late 1970s. This was a predecessor to the alien autopsy documentary and stuff like that they showed on Fox in America in the 90s at the height of X-Files fever. And the whole premise of Alternative 4, was it Alternative 3? It's Alternative 4. Thank you, DJ Nimbus. The whole point of Alternative 4 was a documentary, a pseudo documentary that basically went a little something like this. It was discovered in some old archival footage that there was a secret space program called Alternative 4. And the purpose of Alternative 4 was the following: a group of elect and select businessmen, bankers, politicians, and scientists came to realize and understood that the environmental damage that we had done to this great planet Earth was so severe and that overpopulation was so guaranteed that what they had to do was engage in a program called Alternative 4. And the purpose of this program was to get them off planet Earth and get your ass to Mars. I think they were going to Mars, if not June. They were going somewhere. They were going somewhere that you're not going because you're not invited, plebe. You're not going. You know where you're going? You're going to the hot house known as planet baking hot planet Earth to deal with all the migrant immigration crisis and the rampant drug problems and the crime, and society's going to hell and nobody believes in anything anymore. And you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And a transsexual black rabbi has just been elected president of the United States. That's where you're going to live out the rest of your days, fool. While these super geniuses in the millennium jump on their spaceships and go beyond the stars to survive the fall of planet Earth in a program called Alternative 4. So Alternative 4 hit the airwaves in the BBC and basically was an art piece. It was a LARP. Okay, it was a piece of fiction parading around as a piece of fact. Of course, we all know what happened next. People went buck nutty and crazy because they became convinced that Alternative 4 was a real thing. Okay, so then what happens next? The people come out, the producer, the director, and they make public statements like, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. We're so sorry. We understand you came to believe that this stuff was a work of fiction. We thought you'd get that. But, because if it wasn't a work of fiction, why would we show it on BBC like the way where we show like films and stuff? And why wouldn't it be on the news, but rather it was put on like late at night, like, a TV show that was or a movie that was advertised ahead of time, with a voiceover, dramatic voiceover that went, in a world where we're all about to die, Alternative 4, right? Um, so yeah, so they came out with Alternative 4, but then of course you all know what happened next. And this goes back to the audience wants to believe. Everyone looked, and a lot of people said it in the ufology community, heard the producers and the directors come out and make their public statements that it was all a LARP, that it was all just, fun and games, that it was so sorry, so sorry, we didn't mean to fool you. We thought after the War of the Worlds transmission with Orson Welles, you guys would have learned your lesson, not to believe things, even though it's purported or seems to be set up like it's the truth, right? Large part of the ufology community in Britain just looked at those explanations and said, you're trying to put us off the trail. Clearly, the original producer and director, the truth tellers, have been killed and replaced by these MI5 shills remember, wherever region of the world you come from, whether it's England, Spain, or America, learn the lingo. Uh, in Germany, do they still have the KGB? Well, that was Russia. You know what I mean? So the KGB. Whatever they have in Germany, know what they have in Germany, know your particular versions of the three-letter agencies, and it'll also be great because then when you go to foreign places and speak, you can be like, and that's when I was picked up by the KGB, who work with your CIA, or in England, MI5. And when in doubt, always just you remember that you can create new agencies. You know what I mean? Like the American Freedom of Society Initiative, or um, all fallacious operators surreptitiously inside. Whatever. You know what I mean? Think with it, play with it, workshop it. There you go. So, anyway, what it gets even better is that years later in the 1990s, I pick up a book by Jim Keith called Alternative Form. And the whole point of Jim Keith, the late great Jim Keith book was, and we're gonna pause here because I say this, like, what's so crazy about conspiracy theory land is the things is not only the things that do catch on and become the conspiracies du jour that are talked about all the time. It's also the conspiracies that never were, the missed opportunities to explore. I mean, if you thought that the death of Max Spears was mysterious, there was a man named Jim Keith, a former Scientologist, who then went into conspiracy theory, wrote a lot of books for, I believe, Steam Shovel Press, wrote books for Adventures Unlimited Press with David Childress. I think he was the Captain X who did like Captain X's Guide to Time Travel or whatever. He did a lot of amazing things. And at some point in the late 1990s, you son of a bitch. DJ Nimbus. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna point something out here. DJ Nimbus, I am on to you. DJ Nimbus is clearly running a disinfo psyop on CW Chanter. I am dead effing serious, and I'll tell you why. If you remember when I appeared on Lauren Fenton's the Fenton perspective for the first time, I opened up with some brand new information that it looks like Donald Trump and his sons and daughters are about to be served subpoenas. Okay, because a anonymous whistleblower named Bibe Bimbis, okay, had reached out to me on DM on Twitter to give me that info, and I just ran with it. I was like, "Yeah, Lauren, check this out. Here, well, if you want a tidbit, here's this." Right? As days went by, I realized, maybe DJ Nimbus gets a little bit enthusiastic about things. I find that highly offensive. I have impeccable sources. So he's going with it. So there you go. See, there you go. When in doubt, deny, 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 deny. You've got such amazing sources. You've got such amazing sources. You serve me up a hot steaming plate of alternative four. Okay. Alternative three. Is alternative four is it Coheed and Cambria? There you go. Charlie says is putting the link or information about Jim Keith's casebook on Alternative 3, UFOs, Secret Societies, and World Control, with an ISBN number in the live chat. Check it out there. I don't deny I have some stories wrong. You play the game excellent. That's why DJ Nimbus has a blue wrench. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to play the game. Look to him for this. And in case anyone's curious, this was all my getting alternative four confused with alternative three, of course, was just a very well played out and very well rehearsed little skit, little piece of performance art that me and DJ Nimbus had worked out beforehand. What's the lesson? Now you know how to make things up. Okay? Keep on tap dancing. Keep on tap dancing. Cosmo Creator, Cliff High's #1 fan, putting the Wikipedia entry for Alternative 3 in the live chat as well. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you all for your work. Okay, so Jim Keith, Alternative 3. Alternative 3 comes out in the late 1990s, or so this is the story on Jim Keith. I swear to God, I've told the story before. I'm going to tell it again. Jim Keith a young man maybe in his like early 40s, goes out to Burning Man to give a lecture on conspiracy theory. Right, this is like prior to even Terrence McKenna passing away, I believe. He trips and falls. Right, doesn't lose consciousness, doesn't hit his head, but bangs his knee on a metal stairwell. He thinks his knee is possibly broken or fractured, right? Or at least sprained. So he is taken to a local hospital where he dies. Where he dies. Because the story goes that apparently a bone fragment, now this can happen, but if this doesn't sound like the stuff of conspiracy theory, I don't know what does. You get a fragment of his bone traveled up to his heart and killed him. That's the story. So you have a conspiracy theorist who goes out to give a lecture at Burning Man, okay, has a minor trip and fall accident, and as a result of this minor trip and fall accident, where he hurts his knee, not even a concussion, where he hurts his knee, this guy bites it. OMG, right? Talk about a missed opportunity for conspiracy theory wackiness, gone the way of the dodo. Jim Keith, Alternative 3. So Jim Keith writes this book, and basically the premise of the whole book is as follows: if I'm lying, I'm dying. And this is why we're putting it number one on our list. This is how you do it. He comes out and he says, okay, he tells the whole story about the BBC documentary. He talks about his pre-production. He talks about the writing of it. Okay. He talks about the fact that it is a work of fiction. And then he says, if I'm lying, I'm dying. His whole thesis is, even if that was created as a work of fiction, it could totally possibly be the case that it really is in existence, that it really mimics and mirrors a real life secret space program initiative to get the rich and powerful off planet Earth as we all die and suffer in environmental hellscapes. That's how you do it. You take a work of fiction and you say, even though it's a movie called The Matrix, right? Like David Icke and Children of the Matrix, you take the main basic premise of the idea, the philosophical question at the heart of it, and you say, even though it came from a work of fiction, think about it, dude. It's like all an illusion, right? You know, and you want to wake up. And when you do, you realize that it's all an illusion that you got to wake up from. Like that movie, Cheech and Chong's Nice Dreams. No, like that movie, The Matrix, right? Like the little red pill, the blue pill, all that analogy. Wake up from the Matrix. They're programming us. They got us trapped in the Matrix. Like they did in that work of fiction called The Matrix. Feel free to steal and feel free, not even when it's something that's been debunked, but when it's something that's come out as fiction, you can even take it and then say, "I'm gonna work this shit. I'm gonna take this." You know what I mean? Hello to Robert Elder in the live chat. Hello to Sarah the Mage. All right. Windsor, there you go. Everybody, welcome to the show. Shadows on Productions. All right. Nice Dreams is my favorite Cheech and Chong movie. Go straight and sober and watch it again. Like any Cheech and Chong movie, it will immediately become your least favorite Cheech and Chong movie. I'm not saying those guys didn't have a gimmick. I'm talking about brilliant. If you're going to be a comedian, right? What a way to do it. Encourage your audience to smoke marijuana. That's a surefire hit of success, right? Or it's like Terrence McKenna. You know what I mean? Do you want your mind blown? Have yourself a psychedelic experience and then read a book by me where I talk about the psychedelic experience, and you will see quickly time is a loop, looping around in eternal fixation with itself of biological interplays the mushroom from Mars, if you will. And all of a sudden, you'll think I'm great. Get a tattoo of me on your arm and a picture of me on your wall next to Einstein, even though the most brilliant thing I essentially said was, let's get high and have some fun. Kidding, Terrence McKenna. God bless him. Love him. Love the guy. Love him less now that I no longer do drugs. Gotta be honest. Gotta be honest. But I can still reflect and have very pleasant and wonderful memories of you know what I mean, listening to him, on audio, while beat banged in the background, and thinking to myself, this guy's a genius, man. You know what I mean? Anywho, alternative three. So there you go. It is not only a solid background in the some of the basics of secret space program nomenclature and theories, secret society in the background, getting things together, taking their money and moving towards a goal. We'll also do give you it will also allow you to, oh my god, it's 6 o'clock and I haven't even got I'm only on book one. I better kick it up, right? I better move it up. Hey, congratulations, Sarah. That's wonderful news. That's really, really wonderful news. There you go. No, I just reused the flannel. Underneath, I got a new shirt on. I swear to God, I take a shower every day. Except when I'm hitting the lecture circuit as a secret space program whistleblower. Makes sense to sleep rough sometimes. So, Jim Keith, alternative three. This is how we do it. Oh my God, you definitely want to read that book. Number two on the fear porn reading list, suggested reading list, there's you definitely want to read Behold the Pale Horse by William Cooper. Often considered by many to be a founding book in the alternative media conspiracy theory canon. Behold the Pale Horse is a very, very good book to read if you want a lot of foundational research when it comes to. It's basically considered, can be considered in many ways, shapes, and forms a kind of cliff notes to all the popular conspiracy theories up to uh, basically right before September 11th, 2001. So you definitely want to get yourself a copy of Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. It's got all the hits in there, all the greatest hits in there, like the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, which is just reprinted there, not because he thinks it's actually true, because it's been debunked as being a product of the czar's elite military police or whatever there, but because it just lays out so well how these conspiracies work and how these secret societies work. That's why of course David Icke repeated it, reprinted it in several of his books as well, not because he's an anti-Semite or racist, right? Not because he thinks that the Protocols of the Elders of Zion is a legitimate document, but because, a la Jim Keith in Alternative 3, the truth is often fiction and the fiction is often truth, but reasons, and it just makes sense. It just makes sense. Speaking of foundational books, anything? Hey, all right, Robert, to the head of the class you go. There you go. Thank you so much for your support. Honestly, thank you so much for your support. The support matters. It really does make a difference in being able to do these things. These schools don't write themselves. Okay, what do you think? I'm just some jerk extemporaneously speaking for the webcam. Okay, it takes months and months and hours of diligent research to come up with these things like listing books. Anywho, Behold the Pale Horse by William Cooper. Definitely a foundational book that you're going to want to read. Also, The Truth Shall Set You Free by David Icke. Here's a little hint. Here's a little hint. Um, so, because we're making up a book list, we definitely are going to be picking things from back in the day because unfortunately, due to the prevalence of internet culture like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. People just aren't reading that much anymore, and people aren't writing as much anymore, I dare say. Or if they are, they're doing so in a vacuum of self deception and ignorance of the turn of tide. But here's a little hint from popular music and media and culture that I think you can incorporate into your secret space program persona. And it's called the 20-year, let's say I call it the 20-year nostalgia time loop, the 20-year nostalgia time loop. Whatever was going on 20 years ago in movies, media, comic books, or they say music or games or whatever, or whatever, in fashion, these sort of things. Whatever's going on is exactly what was going on 20 years ago. Trust me, it's true. So when in doubt, look for a book published circa 1998. That would be good. That'll get you. There's plenty of selections from Adventures Unlimited Press. The 2012 mythos hadn't yet like totally taken on. Anything by Bear and Co. Will be good things to have in mind because you'll be able to talk to an increasingly elderly and aging audience and be able to hit them with little bits of nostalgia from their past, things that will make fundamental sense, things that they'll remind themselves, oh, yeah, I remember reading that back in the day. That was fun when I was young and everything was happy and the world was right in front of me. You know what I mean? And all I had in life was the anxiety of running down the fat bag. You know what I mean? Good times, good times. And of course, by elderly and aging, I'm referring to people in their 40s and 50s because we live in a cruel, cruel, youth oriented society that chews us up and spits us out. So, and The Truth Shall Set You Free by David Icke. I think it's the one I'm thinking of, the one I'm recommending here is I think it's the And the Truth Will Set You Free. Let me do something here. And the Truth Shall Set You Free. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. This was the book, and The Truth Shall Set You Free, 21st Century Edition. Oh my goodness. It's a huge, massive tome that contains all of his basic teachings before the culmination of all his work until the book that he wrote after it, which was the culmination of all his work, and then until the book that came after that, which was the culmination of all his work, and then of course the book that came after that, which was the culmination of all his great work. But this was written. Let me see what's going on here. There, boom. Ooh, the 21st century. Where's the original? Where's the original version? Bear with me. There's also David Icke's Guide to the Global Conspiracy. There you go. There you go. So highly recommended. Um, Yada yada sis boom ba. David Icke, the whatchamacallit, the book I just listed. What I do, and The Truth Will Set You Free. Get that one. Okay, and read it, because the greatest thing about that was it just like Behold the Pale Horse by William Cooper. It's kind of like a cliff notes for the last 100 years of wackadoo conspiracy theory. We're gonna get there, everything. So, and The Truth Shall Set You Free by David Icke. There you go. Number four, number five. Also, what you might want to do is, oh Christ, I can't believe I forget about this. We'll put this in the specialized categories. We'll put some things in specialized categories. The books that we're going to list now are basically the general all-purpose ones that you're definitely going to want to familiar yourselves. Yeah, you probably want to read all five of the books that I recommend for you if you really want to make it into the secret space program. Come on now, kids, right? And there was that. There was here's another book that you should read. There, it came out a little bit later. Came out in the 2000s, not too long ago, but it was by Richard Hoagland, and I think it was by Richard Hoagland and what should we call it? The man with the hair. Um, who am I thinking of? Mike Barra. Was it? Was it? Was it? Was this? Hold on, Richard Hoagland. Ah, Dark Mission: The Secret History of NASA, enlarged and revised edition. Woo, baby, by Richard C. Hoagland and Mike Barra. You want to get this book. Why? F NASA, right? You're from the secret space program, right? You're going to want to throw these guys under the bridge as early as you can. Also, you'll probably contain in there a more detailed syllabus and recommendation for other readings that will cover all the omissions that will clearly arise out of C.W. Chanter's list. Dark Mission. There you go. Boom. Okay. I'm also going to recommend. So we got our Jim Keith there for it's a little bit specialized for the secret space program. We got Behold the Pale Horse and the Truth Will Set You Free. That's going to cover a lot of our dark conspiracies there. We got Dark Mission that'll help you throw NASA under the bus. F you guys and your service to our nation, right? Under the bridge you go. And then whatchamacallit, there you go. So I feel like there you go. And then we could also do, if you want a nice general purpose one, that'll give you a nice foundation, nice foundation, and kind of, dark conspiracies and fear porn, but also covers a lot of different bases, a lot of bases. Whatchamacallit, you might also want to check out Rule by Secrecy by Jim Mars. Rule by Secrecy by Jim Mars. Okay, highly recommended. Highly recommended. So I would definitely say the Jim Keith's Alternative 3 is like a must. And I would also really suggest that Dark Mission or anything addressing NASA is definitely going to want to be on your reading list as well. Because duh, the secret space program, you want to be your eyes on the prize. But reading these other books will also give you a firm foundation if you decide to take your fear porn whistleblowing in a not exclusively secret space program direction. You want to stretch out a little and then take a look at talking about underground bases on planet Earth, or Illuminati mind control cults, or what happened to all the babies and what's really happening underneath the Getty Museum. These other foundational books will help you because you definitely want to read this stuff because you're going to want to be able to tap dance. Nothing kills a secret space program aficionados or participants' reputation like being asked one too many times by Carrie Cassidy. Also, we talk a lot about geoengineering on this channel. You know about geoengineering? If you say no, okay, if you say no three times, it's like baseball. Three times and you're out. You know what I mean? We also talk a lot about here. We also had someone who talked about. Oh Christ! There's that whatchamacallit book by Peter Moon about the Montauk Project. He wrote 3 books about the Montauk Project. You're definitely going to want to read about the Montauk Project. But we'll put that in the specialized category. So, specialized category is, in addition to your basic uh, conspiracy theory stuff, that you're going to want to get down pat. You're going to want to know your Freemasons from your trilateral commissions. You're going to be able to tell the difference between your Bilderberg group and your Zionist Mossad agencies. Okay, you're going to want to know where things go. You're going to want to know the lay of the land so that you can, like I said, what do? You got to tell the audience what they already know. That does 2 things. Number one, it lets them know that you know what you're talking about because you know what they're talking about. And number two, it lets them know that you know what they're talking about and they're so smart because you're the Illuminati Bloodline Secret Space Program insider and you're telling them what they already know, proving to them that they know good stuff. So there you go. So you want to be able to have enough basic baseline information to be familiar with the lingo, to be familiar with the language, and to be familiar with the players on the board. Crucial. It's already 617. Also, for this fear porn category, some specialized titles that you might want to add into your repertoire, good books and good stuff to have in your back pocket. You're going to want to, like I said, so what I mean by specialized is things that in addition to the basic conspiracy theory, you might want to also pick one of the classic conspiracy theories to specialize in, to have more information about and more to talk. So you'll be able to cover all your bases to cover random questions, setting you up for a win, and then you bring it home by having specialized knowledge and deep research into a particular category. Okay? So about the secret space program, don't worry about you're like, oh, I'm interested in this conspiracy theory or that conspiracy theory, but I don't know if it connects to the secret space program. And to you, I say, start using your imagination. Of course it does. Of course it does. How does it? I don't know. Name a random conspiracy theory. JFK, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Why did they kill him? A lot of the information that he had that he was about to expose to the American people included what was really going on with what? All together now? The secret space program. Duh. And the aliens and Eisenhower and Nixon and the time capsule, all that good stuff. Okay? So you might want to read what was it? It was it Crossfire by Jim Keith was the book, not by Jim Keith, by Jim Mars. That was the one that went into his book on JFK that ended up informing Oliver Stone's JFK movie, I believe. There's also a book that came out on what was that publishing company? It wasn't Feral House. It was I don't know. But it was called the Gemstone Files. It might have been Adventures in Women Press. I don't know. The Gemstone File about JFK. Ooh, you know what I mean? You could look into JFK. You could look into RFK. You could look into the Montauk Project. When it comes to the Montauk Project, you definitely want to read the trilogy of books written by not Keith Moon, Peter Moon. Okay, they're both from another planet. Maybe they both play drums. I don't know, but it's by Keith Moon. Keith Moon. It's by Peter Moon, The Montauk Project. Okay, books. He did a trilogy of books about the Montauk Project. In addition to that, okay, so you got JFK. You could easily connect to the book called. You got the Montauk Project, and what else could go to the secret space program from conspiracy theory land? I don't know. You get that from anywhere. You get the Manson family from there. You get anywhere to the secret space program. It's your imagination. Do with it what you want. So RFK, JFK, Crossfire, or the Gemstone Files. That's for mind control. You definitely want to read a book about mind control. So you could read something like Jim Keith had a book about mind control and secret societies. They're all pretty much they say the same thing. You know what I mean? So there's that. And there you go. Okay. Anything about mind control. That'll help you. Anything about mind control, literally. It's not a book called Anything About Mind Control. It's just a book about mind control. You know what I mean? From implants to whatever, you're doing good. There you go. Okay, all right. Moving on to the Hopium Trail. Oh, baby. So, your secret space program whistleblower, but your specialization, why they recruited you. It's not all fear and anger up there. No, no, no. You know and can see that there's some bad things out there. And there's some bad aliens. You can't lie. But, oh yeah, anything about MK Ultra. There you go. Mind control. So down the Hopium Trail we go. So Ugh, I'm getting sleepy. Someone said the magic word, MK Ultra. MK Ultra. If you'll excuse me, I have to trip out the window right now. Hey, come on now. Hey, got you. Woo, Tamu Nagina fell for it. Bam. There you go. All right. There you go. That's what I like to see. Give me the love. Give me the love. Give me the love. All right. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's not as though I'm going to see the magic words, which is I saw it live on CW's channel and I decided to kill myself. No, there you go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There you go. MK confirmed. There you go. All right. Down the Hopium Trail. Down the Hopium Trail. It's not all sadness up there. No. They're not here to torture us. No. The programs, yes. It's a school. Oh crap! I can't believe. Also, you want to check out Communion? You might want to read Communion by Willie Schreiber down the old fear porn alley there. Put that in the specialized category. Abduction, anything by Bud Hopkins or John Mack will definitely help you on the fear porn angle for your specialized choices. There you go. I should have made a 10-book list. Well, I mentioned a lot of books. Read as many of them as you can. The more books you read, you'll be better. You'll be better off. Ooh, After Disclosure by Richard Dolan. No, because that's going to get you a little bit too close to reality. When it comes to your secret space program research, remember you wanted this is where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? You want to be out there. You want to be out there. Charlie says Guide to X Files mythology? Probably. Absolutely. You dare say that. But remember, don't cheat and just watch the movie, TV show, or film or YouTube clip. You have to actually read if you want to commit this stuff to memory. If you want to know what's really going on. So down the Hopium Trail of New Age wonder and crystal magic of space beings from beyond planet Pluto who just want to help us out and just want to get us from point A to point B because they love you with their programs and their hybrid babies who just want to be loved. So down the Hopium Trail, your specialization is not so much as in hard data. When it comes to the fear porn angle, you're definitely looking for a little bit more like the hard data and the classic conspiracy theory background. That's what you're going to be pulling from because that's what's going to get people up, really riled up and let them know that you're a real researcher and you really know what you're talking about. Down the Hopium Trail, it's a lot more of the inner exploration journey. And things resonating with you is true. So it's the classic old, basically the new age 1960s hippy dippy flower power. This will get you going, and in the same way that reading these terrible books will get the people started and familiar with their fear porn stuff. There's some books that you can bring yourself up to speed with what's been going on with human consciousness and human mental development and dreaming about a better world and a better future. And remember, you're going to read, what do we say? 3 books off your main list, 1 book off the other guy's main list, and then a specialized book. That's 5 books. That's good. You can read 5 books. You can. Okay. It's going to take you a minute, but that's okay because trust me, getting from point A to point B, getting from a first date to a home run with your first handler, it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time. You got to be in it for the long con. I mean, the long game. I mean, telling the truth. Down the Hopium Trail. Be Here Now by Ram Dass. Oh, baby. Be here now. Before mindfulness was a thing, mindfulness was a thing. Be Here Now by Ram Dass. This is going to get you to where you need to be. Trust me. And the great thing about it is that it's a quick and easy read because a lot of it is just pictures. Honestly, if I'm lying, I'm dying. Be Here Now. You're going to want to read the Bhagavad Gita. A lot of the key concepts and theories that are tossed around in New Age circles, what's old is new again. So the Bhagavad Gita is a great book. There's a million different translations, and many of them are quite short. And it's going to contain and going to familiarize yourself with some basic concepts from Hindu mythology, your basic concepts from Hindu symbology, and some. It's a good place to start. It's good to have in your back pocket as far as when it comes to possibly needing to BS people about theories of reincarnation or the nature of our interaction with Source and how much it loves us by trapping us in deception. Also, when it comes to things like the secret space program, it's great because the whole point of the Bhagavad Gita is how you can be doing bad things in a good spirit or frame of mind or well. Everybody, look, everybody's, you can't make an omelet without cracking some eggs. Yeah, I was a member of the secret space program. Yeah, I did some ugly things, but in the big picture, you realize that everything happens for a reason and soul contracts and yada yada yada. The Bhagavad Gita is a good thing to have as a foundational text to help you out there. Also, here's a little chestnut that's an easy read. It'll definitely get you going and give you a lot of language to pull from as far as it comes to BSing other hippies that you're a BS hippie. And that's the Tao of Pooh by some person. Okay? Read that. It's another one that's a quick and easy read. There you go. Also, anything by Buddha. Get yourself like, a Buddha for Dummies or, 101 Phrases by the Buddha. Anything with Buddha, you're going to be good. Same rationales behind that as well as is behind the Bhagavad Gita. You're going to be out there, right? There you go. And you're going to, also check this out. A Course in Miracles. Definitely going to want to read that. That'll help you. Oh, in lieu of the Course in Miracles, an alternative could also be The Secret. The Secret. Okay. Um, there you go. So reading those 5 books or any selection of them, as well as the fear porn, you're going to be well acquainted with hippy dippy concepts like letting things go and everything happens for a reason, and don't get banged up about it, man, and let go of your hang-ups. You know what I mean? And be here now. That's also a good one. There you go. There you go. So it's some nice foundational information just toss out there. And if you notice, the Hopium Trail, it's easy. I was able to just like toss out this, that, and that thing. And I could probably pick 5 different books and put them on the Hopium Trail. Everything works on the Hopium Trail because basically it's all the same stuff and information recycled over and over and over again. So there you go. Now when it gets to your specialized information, your specialized stuff, okay, um, the world is your proverbial oyster, and so is Neptune. You can read anything about Atlantis. And of course, by anything about Atlantis, I don't mean anything about Atlantis. I mean Atlantis, the whole concept. Get involved. Lemuria, Mu. There you go. Ooh, also, shoot, you know what? Yeah, I needed a longer book list. Because you're definitely going to want to read Eric Van Dyken's Chariot of the Gods. Ancient Alien Theory. Not a requirement. It's not a requirement. First of all, you've been exposed to ancient alien theory, and if you don't know what ancient alien theory is, basically everything that was a mystical, magical thing in the past, like a mythological creature or an angel or the voice of God, it was instead aliens. There you go. You know the secret. Eric Van Dyken's Ancient Aliens classic, Chariots of the Gods. That'll put you in very good stead get you right off to the races, get you working, and get you moving in the right direction. Um, Another thing you could read is anything by Zachariah Sitchin. Really, anything by Zachariah Sitchin you could read there. You know what I mean? Um, and was it? I'm trying to think. Make sure I'm not leaving anything on my list. Oh my, I'm getting tired. Hold on. I've been trying. I thought I drank too much coffee this morning, and that gave me a stomach ache and a slight headache. But now I feel like I'm falling asleep. We're gonna get to works of fiction. So these are factual books. Well, factual books, as it were, as it were. And if you read, like I said, if you read, four off your list, and then no, if you read three off your list, and then one off the other guy's list, and then one of the specialized books, you will be. I'm telling you, you will be pretty ready to go. I swear to Jesus, if I'm lying, I'm dying. If you read any of these three books off your list, and then any one book off the other guy's list, like so, if you're on Fear Porn Alley, you read three of the books that we recommended out of the five over there, and then you read one from the Hopium Trail, and the Hopium Trail vice versa. I'm telling you, you're gonna be able to BS yourself through at least like 10 years worth of conferences. What's old is new again, and what's new is old again. I'm telling you, it's the easiest thing. There you go. So you definitely want to know and understand that that's all it's going to take. And then if you decide to keep your education going, enroll yourself in a continuing, program of continuing education after you do this by reading more books or reading new things that come out. Oh man, you're going to be an unstoppable juggernaut. You are going to take Secret Space Program World by storm. You're going to be given lectures. You're going to be at the conference circuit. And remember, once you get set up, it's a quote from Man Ray that's brilliant. Check this out. Once they know your name, they'll let you do anything. Let me repeat that. This is attributable to the surreal photographer, artist, and sculptor Man Ray. Once they know your name, they'll let you do anything. Anything by Nick Redfern, that will go in the specialized category. The specialized category of cryptozoology or Men in Black. That's your specialized category. So you read three, anything from a specialized category, to complete your further education, your speciality, as you will, your MO, as it were. That's what it's called, right? It's not modus operandi. It's like your specialized training, whatever it is, blah blah blah, and then vice versa for the Hopium Trail. So the specialized stuff on the Hopium Trail, anything about Atlantis, you can specialize in crystals. Definitely want to read Eric Van Dyken's Chariot of the Gods. You know what? I'll take that out. What I do? Anything by the Buddha? Oh no, you know what we'll do? We're gonna take out the Tao of Pooh, and we're just gonna put that in the possible speciality list, and we're gonna bump Eric Van Dyken's Chariots of the Gods up there. DVD, Chariots of the Gods. Much better fit. There you go. Yada yada, sis, boom, ba. All right. And you are off to the races. That's special training op. There you go. Women in Black. Nice. All right. I love it. Ooh, there you go. We're still read the book. There you go. There you go. And so then you're off to the races there now. And what you call it. Now here we go. Now here's where we're gonna break it out a little bit. Works of fiction. Ah, works of fiction. Remember my golden rule about the 20-year nostalgia loop of, so something from 1998. Okay. Dirty Little Secret Time. We all know it. It's the proverbial elephant in the room, so we might as well recognize it and acknowledge it. What can be said by a lot of about Secret Space Program testimony? That it sounds like an old episode of the X-Files. You saw that movie, whatchamacallit? What was it? The Arrival with, who was the one with Ron Silverman, where he was the terraforming alien? Or Ron Silver, where he was the terraforming alien? Or Communion, or not Communion by Whitley Strieber with more cowbell, Christopher Walken. or anything but the X-Files or other stuff. So you definitely, you can look into the works of fiction, and it's completely acceptable. And in fact, beyond being completely acceptable, what we would think would be our detriment, what we would think would be end up being our Achilles heel, is actually going to be our greatest strength. You want to take the real stuff, the real stuff, quote unquote, that you just looked at in those other books that we already reviewed, and you're going to want to mix in with them a heavy dose of fiction. So things you can look to, like I remember the 20 nostalgia loops. So think 1998. You'd be looking at movies, shows, or movies like The X Files, of course, of course, of course. There you go. Star Trek and Star Wars. Yeah, absolutely. But of course, it's 1998, so we want what was it? Be Star Trek: The Next Generation. Stay away from the 1960s stuff. Update your policy, okay? It's Captain Picard, not Captain Kirk. There, you know what I mean. Keep it trucking. Babylon 5. There you go. Babylon 5 is that's gonna be you know what I mean? You're in the secret space program. You're dicing it up with all sorts of alien species on the planets and the whatever, and the conference calls and the barroom brawls. There you go. Babylon 5. You're gonna be good to go. Oh, here's something these they'll go down like a spoonful of sugar. Though it's not necessarily from the 90s. Battlestar Galactica. Oh, you definitely want to do that because you'll get the AI angle. There's aspects of human cloning in there. The Sixth Day by with which we call it with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I mean? Oh, Minority Report, The Matrix. Come on now. You're gonna be. This is the easy thing. This is the easy thing. This is the easy thing. When it comes to the works of fiction, especially for the fear porn stuff, the science fiction there stuff. Oh, pick anything you want to. You're gonna be great. You're gonna be good to go. You're gonna be solid gold. The Hopium Trail of works of fiction. As a book, you could go with the Celestine Prophecy, easy peasy lemon squeezy. That was a big one. Also, anything by Carlos Castaneda will help you out there. But as far as movies, I don't know where it's like. I don't know. If it's like kind of like Avatar, duh, right? It's essentially cowboys and Indians, but the Indians win this time on the rainforest planet known as Pandora. Perfect, perfect. Right there. And why is your story so like James Cameron's work of fiction? Because the angels of the universe that some people thought were aliens whispered into his ear the truth about magic and aliens and other good things. So definitely, you're gonna definitely watch Avatar. Oh, Contact! Duh. Oh my gosh. On the Hopium Trail, you can always read about contact. Where does the information come from? I don't know. Where's it going? Outer space. There you go. Avatar, contact. Oh, Cocoon. Cocoon. You're definitely going to watch Cocoon. Starman, okay, you know what I mean? But Cocoon, oh my God, Cocoon. They live in the fear porn category? Absolutely, they live. Wonderful, wonderful suggestion. Fire in the Sky, Fear Porn Alley, absolutely. But you're getting a little bit dicey there, and I'll tell you why. You don't want, because Travis Walton is still on the scene, you don't necessarily want to mix it in Fire in the Sky there. A little bit of background information to liven up the plot. But like I said, you would probably, in your specialized category, read something by John Mack or Bud Hopkins, or Whitley Strieber's Communion might do it. But Tron, maybe, there you go. Like I said, when it comes to the works of fiction, you're really wide open. There's nothing wrong you can do. You know what I mean? See where you can go with it. See where you can take it. Hey, the octopus that lives with dreams. She makes a suggestion. Planet of the Apes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Timelines 2001, 2010. Absolutely. Now you're thinking. Now you're thinking. Also, remember, some of your storyline can be that you came from the future. So there you go. So the Terminator movies. I'll be back. Yeah, you will be in a sequel called Secret Space Program Whistleblower. The Terminator movies, full of black goo, full of nanobots. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. You also want to familiar yourselves with the work of Michio Kaku and Terrence Trent D'Arby. That's not his name. Who am I thinking of? He goes on Joe Rogan all the time. The brother. Who am I thinking of? Neil deGrasse Tyson. Sorry. We said that simultaneously, Timu. I didn't, Tamu. I didn't see it. We did it. We read it simultaneously. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I love how everyone's putting a question mark behind it, being like, "Oh man, I hope he's not doing that." Yeah, I swear to God, I went into my brain for Neil deGrasse Tyson, and I came back with Terrence Trent D'Arby. You know what I mean? Wishing well. There you go. Kiss and tell. Butterfly Dream. There you go. Universal Soldier. Yeah, see, there you go. You guys know what you're doing. Works of creative fiction. Works of creative fiction. So there you go. Fern Gully. Ooh, I don't know. Let's bring it back. Bring it back in here. Primer. Another one about time travel. 15 minutes. There you go. So there you go. So what you want to do is, oh yeah, it's 15 minutes to go. Okay, so we'll end it pretty quickly because we want to give space for you guys to get over to Joe from the Carolinas live stream. Make sure to tell him that I sent you back over there. Make sure you tell him that I sent you back over there, guys. Okay, okay. So there you go. CW is alive. CW is alive. There you go. Um, Big Bang Nonsense. Now you're talking, Noah O'Brien. Now you're talking like a secret space program whistleblower. Nice, nice, wonderful. So there you go. So I'll BS. Please do. Please do. Oh, Siddhartha, there you go. Are you going over? Unfortunately, I'm going to be hitting the road soon. My friend is having a concert in Nyack, New York. Let me tell you this. See what's going on here. Hold on. Okay, here we go. The Nyack Village Theater, 142 Main Street, Nyack, New York. My boy Ken Timber is putting on a show, and the main act, the main attraction is kind of like, I guess she's kind of like vaporwave, but like I understand that it's a little bit harder. It's called Fire Tools. Fire Tools is playing in Nyack, New York, so I'm gonna be at. So if you want to hang out with CW Chanter, if you want to do a meet and greet, Kitty Rock just went with David Wilcock's plan to save the world. Uh-oh, that's not good. Um, I'll have to post pics. Yeah, I will post pics, but go if anyone's in upstate New York, if anyone's in, well, not necessarily upstate New York, but if anyone's near Nyack, New York, I'm gonna be at the Nyack Village Theater, 142 Main Street, Nyack, New York. Okay, so if you want to come hang out with the CW Chanter as I groove and move my booty while listening to amazing acts like Ken Timber or Stickliver, what? Or Jeff Carey, and then Fire Tools, who's got a new release on what was this? Hasu Mountain. That's a pretty reputable, I think, vaporwave album thing. So check it out. There you go. November 16th, 2018. That's today. It's gonna be starting around 8ish. So I'm gonna be having to hit the road soon, and we want to let you guys go over to see Joe. Tell him I say hi. Y'all gotta be like, he said hi. He sent us over here. He ended his live stream before you started your live stream. You're in Newport, Rhode Island right now. Fairly. Also, from the world of video games. Yes, absolutely. Video games will help you out when it comes to the hippy dippy hopium trail in video games. Oh, easy peasy. 1998. Think 20 years ago. Think PlayStation 1. Final Fantasy 7. If you never played Final Fantasy 7, you're going down the hopium trail, you definitely want to go play Final Fantasy 7. Absolutely. There you go. Anything like that, like Harvest Moon, whatever. Do any of that stuff. And when it comes to Fear Porn Alley, when it comes down to Fear Porn Alley, you're set. You're good to go. If you played Fallout, if you played friggin' BioShock, oh man, you're good to go. Half-Life, yes, you're good to go on the Fear Porn angle. You're good to go. You're good to go. But don't just play the video games. Don't just watch the movies. You have to read the books. You're all going to decide what books you're going to read, and you're going to read those gosh darn books. If you do that, I am telling you, if I am lying, I am dying. If you were going down Fear Porn Alley and you read any of these three of these five books that we laid out there, okay, and one from your specialized list, and one from the Hopium Trail, you're covered. You're covered. He's going to be talking about the Dulce Underground base to the best of my understanding. If you're going down the Hopium Trail and you read three out of these five books and one from the Fear Porn stuff for balance and one out you're specialized, you're covered. You're covered. Read the books first. You do the books first, do the hard work first, you read the books, and then when you see these science fiction movies, oh baby, you'll know where it all interconnects. You'll know where your karma connects to your reincarnation, connects to your blood rituals on the moon. It'll be great. You'll be set. You will be set. Oh, and then we're going to have another reading list later on because when we get into our specialized, after we get our baseline character together and our basic background together, we're also going to delve deep into who are our enemies, who's trying to prevent us from helping disclosure to happen, who's trying to mess up ascension so we don't get to leave, but we have to come back. Those are going to be your bad guys in your story. Every good story has a protagonist, you, and set and setting, the environment that you set up for yourself, as well as an adversary. You need an adversary, and we're going to get into adversaries. Maybe next time. Maybe next time we'll start going into adversaries, and then when we do this for a couple of times, then maybe over the weekend we'll have it for the first time. I don't know. We'll actually have our study session where we're going to do. So it might be the most likely contender is going to be either Saturday or Sunday night after 9 o'clock. Dune, of course, Dune. So there you go. Next Thursday. So if anyone wants to sign up and participate in rule, don't waste anybody's time. If you've been part of the program, if you've been part of the program, the Secret Space program class so far, and you've watched the full episodes of 1, 2, and 3, and you've done the homework assignments, okay, you've done the homework assignments, then feel free to contact me to participate in tomorrow or Sunday's small group study session. Google Hangouts will allow me to put 8 other suckers in a room. We don't all be vying for attention, so not everyone scream at once. But we could talk about the basics of our characters that we have so far that we've worked in. We can workshop some scenarios with our initial encounters with our initial handlers. We might throw out some ideas about what handlers we could go to. There you go. What I miss, what I miss. So there you go. So there you go. So let me know. Let me know. Reach out to me. You can reach out to me by direct message on Twitter at C_Chanter on Twitter there. You can add me as a friend on Skype. On Skype. We didn't talk about documentaries yet. We're gonna get there. There you go. I do deserve an apple. Was done like for oh, you got all the time in the world. There's no the homework assignment is not to read any of these books or complete them by Saturday or Sunday. You'll kill yourself. You'll hurt yourself. The assignment though is to think about what books you might read. There you go. Learn how to plagiarize. Absolutely. We're going to cover plagiarism. We're going to cover plagiarism. We're going to talk about, as we move forward, after we talk about adversaries, we're going to talk about preparing for your first YouTube interview. Then we'll be talking about preparing for your first live conference. Okay, your first full scale presentation. Then we'll be branching off at that point, and we'll talk about keeping yourself in continuing education, staying ahead of the game, how that works. And we'll also be taking a look at some like life lessons from secret space program whistleblowers from the past, from Billy Meyer, Alex Collier, that bloke from New Zealand in the tie-dyed shirt that disappeared on a bender for a weekend and convinced people that he was abducted by aliens, Travis Walton, et cetera, et cetera. We've got a million opportunities to go in the future. But for now, I will let you go. I will let you go and heartily recommend that you go over to Joe from the Carolinas channel, where, let me check YouTube. When it's cold outside, who are you holding? Bear with me. She's always complaining about me never being at home. Boy, I'm not broke. I got no money. I hope he's going on tonight, or if he's gonna ask. Oh my god, I'm gonna be falling asleep at this freaking thing. I just can't fall asleep on the road. Where are you, black-hearted bastard? Why are you hiding in my thing? Why aren't you in the front? Here we go. Up live in 5 minutes and counting down. You guys all go over there. Remember, be like CW Chanter, CW Chanter, CW Chanter under this broadcast, and we can all come over here. Oh, what a great, amiable guy! What an amazing dude, CW Chanter. Oh, he's so fantastic. He's so fabulous. He's so ecumenical. No, that's not the word. So I get along with people. I'm a nice guy. So I sent you over there. Oh, 444. They're gonna start. Okay, guys. I love you. 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 Truly do. Truly do. Truly do. Hope you got something out of this class. Hope you had a blast and a half, as much fun as I did. And I hope you find this series entertaining. When we are done, you are going to be ready to be secret space program whistleblowers to be unleashed upon the world. Will have effectively destroyed secret space program and whistleblowing. If there's anyone out there who wants to have a theory about me being a CIA shill, confirmed. Look at me. I just destroyed this stuff. I'm amazing. Okay. I love you. I love you. I love you. If no one told you that they loved you today, somebody just did. Okay. Go over to Joe's channel. Go over to Joe's channel and say hi from there. Okay. I love you. I love you. I love you. I'm off to Nyack. I hope maybe I'll see someone there. No, I won't. No one will come see me. But I love you anyway. Okay. Peace be upon you. Take care now.